Here we go, section 5.1, units of measurement. So what are we going to be looking at here? We're going to recognize the basic units of measure in the U.S. customary system, use multiplication and division to convert between U.S. units of measure, and use unit fractions to convert between U.S. units of measure. Okay, well the first thing to look at is we need to kind of know these units of measure. And just so you know, these will be printed off for you on tests. I suggest you maybe just kind of start learning them, okay? But these are kind of some things that you're going to need to get used to seeing, okay? So, of course, I'm not going to go through everything on this list, but some of these you might already be familiar with, like 12 inches equals 1 foot. Maybe in some of these not so much, like 3 feet equals a yard. 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. Here we are. Let's look at 4 quarts equals a gallon. Time, I think we're all pretty used to. Okay, 60 minutes in an hour, 7 days in a week, 24 hours in a day, 60 seconds in a minute. Kind of customary there. So we can kind of come down here. Let me get my pen out already. And we can kind of start thinking about some of these. We can look at look here, we've got 1 gallon. Okay, use table 1 to convert each measurement. 1 gallon equals how many quarts? Well, let's look back here. Look at right here, 1 gallon equals 4 quarts, so we can come back over here and put 4 quarts. 3 feet equals, well, I believe that's 1 yard, but we can double check. 3 feet, 1 yard, yes. 60 minutes, we don't need to look back that one. 60 minutes equals 1 hour. And how about 1 ton? Well, we just read that one. That equals 2,000 pounds. And so those are just straightforward. Okay, so those are some very simple kind of like just kind of memorization kind of conversions. But eventually what's going to happen is we're going to need to start knowing how to actually convert larger things. Okay, so we'll start looking at things like to multiply to convert into small units. Okay, or to divide is to convert to large units. This will happen a lot fewer. Okay, so let's take a look at some examples here and see what they're talking about. Okay. Let's look here. Okay, well 3 cups equals how many fluid ounces? Well, let's go back to our chart here and look up cups. Well, notice here that 1 cup equals 8 fluid ounces. So if I come over here, well this is 3 cups. Okay, well how much would 3? Well, we're going to do this. We're going to do multiply 3 times 8. Well, that's going to be 24. Because I know that 1 cup equals 8, well that means 3 cups is going to equal 24. Okay, so that would be 24 fluid ounces. Okay, well gallons to quarts. Come back up to our list again. Find our gallons, and there it is right there. We got 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. Well, this thing is asking us how many quarts. Well, it's 4 quarts to 1 gallon. So let's do 4 quarts, okay, to 5 gallons. Well, that's going to equal 20. So it would take 20 quarts to make 5 gallons. Okay, well, let's look at the next one here. We got 150 minutes equals how much of an hour? Okay, this one's going to be just a little bit different. Okay, so let's take a look here. When we're converting, we've got to be very careful because look, we've got a whole bunch of minutes here, and we know that 60 minutes equals 1 hour. So on this one, we're converting from a smaller unit to a large unit. Just remember that a minute is smaller than an hour. So I've got 150 minutes right here. Well, and we know that there's 60 minutes in 1 hour. So what we're going to do here is we're going to have to do some division, and I'll go ahead and just grab out the good old calculator here, and I'm going to do 150 divided by 60, and I get 2.5. So I know that whenever I do this conversion, I have 2.5 hours, okay, in 150 minutes. Okay, same thing here. Let's look here. We're going to go from 39 inches is how many feet? Okay, once again, we're converting from a smaller unit to a larger unit. Okay, 39 inches, well, how many inches are in 1 foot? Well, there is 12 inches in 1 foot. Okay, so let's go and just put our feet over here, and I can go ahead and come in here and use my calculator again and go 39 divided by 12, and that's going to give me 3.25 feet, or if you ended up doing this like the long division way, you could say that's 3 1/4 quarter feet. That'd be another way to put that, another way to think of that. So that's going to be how some of the conversions are going to work. Just remember, like when you're going from smaller to larger, then you're going to have to divide. When you're going from larger to smaller, okay, you're going to multiply. Okay, so let's look at some more stuff here. Use unit fractions to convert measurements. Okay, on this one right here, we're going to say the numerator of our fraction should be the units of measure of the desired result. Okay, the denominator should be the original units of measure. What we're doing is we're going to be converting between units. Okay, so let's kind of take a look at some of these and see what they look like. Okay, this first one here, we've got 21 feet equals how many yards? Okay, well, if we started writing this out, notice how they did it. Okay, they choose the unit fraction with yards in the numerator and feet in the denominator. Okay, because remember, feet is the original. We're starting here. This is our original. This is where we're going. So this guy needs to be the numerator, just like it tells us. Okay, so 1 yard equals 3 feet. Okay, so notice here what's happening here is the feet are getting canceled out, and so we got 21 over 3. When you divide that, you get 7 yards. Note that the measurement label feet divides out and the result is in yards. That's how we're going to convert. Okay, so let's do one on our own now. So we got 15 hours, okay, is how many minutes? So we know this guy right here needs to be our numerator. Okay, this is what we're going to be trying to divide out. So what we're going to look at is we're going to have 15 hours. Okay, well, when we look at the 15 hours, remember that we have 60 minutes into 1 hour. Okay, well, notice here that the hours cancel out, and then we've got this 15 times 60, which I'll go and get the calculator out for that. 15 times 60, and that's going to give us 900 minutes. Okay, just remember, the thing that you're trying to convert into, that's your numerator, because notice here, that's where I was trying to head. So let's try again. Let's do another one. 6 1/2 quarts equals how many pints? Okay, well, here is my numerator. And for this, since I'm going to be using probably my calculator on this, I'm going to convert this guy. 1/2, I like that, but I can't put that in my calculator now. So, but I know that 1/2 is also 6.5. Okay, quarts. Okay, and we're going to multiply that to, well, let's go back up all the way. How many pints are in a quart? Let's go all the way back up to our deal over here. We got 2 pints to 1 quart. Okay, come back down. So here we have 2 pints, which is, that's my numerator, to 1 quart. Well, now notice what's going to happen. The quarts, they cancel out. So now I have 6.5 times 2. And that's going to give me 13 pints. Okay. So far so good. This is not that hard. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, we got 40 ounces in how many pounds? Okay, so we got 40 ounces. Well, we need to know now, because this is what we're going to, we need to know how many pounds, since this is going to be my numerator. Okay, how many pounds in 1 ounce? Well, if we go look, we can find that 1 pound, okay, has 16 ounces. So I'll put the 1, kind of put an LB here, is 16 ounces. Once again, notice this cancels, that cancels, then I can do 40 times 1, and that's going to give me 40 divided by 16. Now I can come in here and go ahead and use my calculator, do 40 divided by 16, and I'm going to get 2.5. Well, remember, when you're dealing with units, you need to make sure that this unit here, makes it to the end. Otherwise, you're just telling me something. You're just giving me a number. And especially when dealing with application problems, units do matter, okay? Because 2.5, like I said, tells me nothing at all, okay? But 2.5 pounds tells me something. You know, if you don't believe units matter, go help somebody build a house who's not from here, who they may be using a different mode. They may be using meters. So let's do one more. Determine how many seconds are in a 5-day work week, assuming an 8-hour, okay, work day. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, we got 5 days here, okay, and we're going to be converting to hours, okay. So notice we're going to have to kind of work our way through here because we're going to go from days to hours to seconds. Okay, so let's start this out. We got 5 days. Okay, we know we want to cancel the days. Okay, so let's think about it. We're using an 8-hour work day. Okay, that's going to constitute our work day. So let's think about this. So we're going to use an 8-hour, and that is 1 day. Okay, notice now doing this, the days will cancel, but now we need to go from hours to minutes. And we know that there's 60 minutes, okay, in 1 hour. We also know that there's 60 seconds in 1 minute. So notice what's happening here. My days are going to cancel. Then my hours are going to cancel. Then my minutes are going to cancel. Okay, I'm slowly but surely getting to the point where I can find out how many seconds there are, because that's my ending thing that I want. The ending thing I want, seconds, okay, right here, that is my numerator. Okay, so now we can just do the quick math on this. Okay, we can do 5 times 8 times 60 times 60, and we can know that there is 144,000 seconds in a work week. In a 5-day work week. Okay. Conversions can be a little tricky. Okay, let's just be honest about that. They can be a little tricky, a little bit hard to get used to, especially whenever you're converting a lot like I just did. Okay, but with practice, this is something you get pretty good at. With the rise of modern computers, of course, nowadays a lot of people just Google this kind of stuff, but it makes sense to just still, it's a skill worth willing to have, especially if you're getting into the nursing or anything like that. Conversions are going to be something you're going to need to know about, very much so.